and welcome to the Habits and Home Show. I'm your host, Lisa Lazat, and I help busy moms bring order to their homes by downsizing and decluttering and ditching old habits in exchange for systems that bring peace and more enjoyment to their lives. If you're a mom trying to show the love of Jesus to your family, but the clutter in your home keeps you overwhelmed and frustrated, you have come to the right place. On this podcast, you will hear easy, step-by-step tips to declutter and create systems so you can keep your home organized and finally walk in the peace God has promised you. Need some accountability? I've got you covered there too. Join the Accountability Club, a community of like-minded mamas decluttering and systemizing our homes together. Are you ready, friend? Let's get started. Hey friends, and welcome to the show. Before I dive into today's episode, I just want to put a little warning out there. If you are listening with your kids around, I'm going to be talking about Santa Claus, so you might want to either pause this and listen another time when your kids aren't around, especially if you celebrate that with your kids. All right, so on today's episode, we are talking about picking our Christmas battles. This is just something that a lot of families, a lot of moms, because that's who I talk to is moms, women, that we have to face. We have to pick our battles all of the time, and especially those battles come, or those opportunities come around the holidays. Whether you celebrate a certain way when you were growing up and your family, your husband's family, or the family that you've been married into, they celebrate a different way. There's just a lot of different dynamics that come into play around the holiday season. And I just want to encourage you, if I can do anything before that special day comes up for y'all, is to just encourage you to pick your battles wisely. And I'm going to share a kind of a personal story of my Christmases growing up, and then I'm going to share a little clip from our November coaching call session inside the Accountability Club, where I'm talking to one of the members, my friend Erin, about how she goes about doing Christmas with her family who just will not be compliant or compromising when it comes to how many gifts they give during the holiday season. So stay tuned for that at the end of the show. But I wanted to share with you just a personal story of when I was a teenager. I think I was in high school, or maybe just in, freshly in college. And my older brother, he's 9 years older than me, he decided that he no longer wanted to do Santa Claus with his kids. And that is everybody's preference, right? It's everybody's choice whether they want to do it or not do it. And my dad, he was old school. He grew up doing Santa Claus, and he just did not take it very well. My brother had the only grandkids at the time and had been doing Santa Claus for a couple of years, and they were Christians. They just did not feel like they wanted to do that celebration anymore, and that is their choice, right? So he comes to Christmas and he breaks the news to my dad, and you can only imagine how that conversation went. Well, it didn't go very well, and needless to say, and sadly to say, Christmases at our home were never the same. And so it broke my dad's heart. It broke my brother's heart that my dad was uncompromising and he just did not respect his wishes. And so it really created a lot of stress, a lot of turmoil. It kind of ruined Christmas for my side of the family for a long time. And that's when I was dating my now husband. At the time I was dating him. And that's when I started celebrating with his family, because whatever their traditions were, I really didn't care. I just didn't want it to be stressful. I didn't care if they did Santa Claus. I didn't care if they didn't do Santa Claus. I didn't even care if they, obviously the basic Christian beliefs, right? Because those were my beliefs. But I just wanted it to be fun. I just wanted it to be fun and lighthearted. And I didn't want all the stress that came with just differences of opinion. And so it's really been important to me over the years to keep the holidays lighthearted, pick our battles. What something might be important to you, but it might not be important to your family, whatever your beliefs or your systems or your, whatever that is. So whatever is important to you in your home, you just have to decide if it's important outside of your home. Like if you don't want to do Santa Claus in your home, like we really didn't with my husband and I, because I had my brother's influence. We were like, we're not going to really do this. But at the same time, we kind of did. We told our kids it's imagination. It's a lot of fun. It's fun to imagine that a guy brings us presents. And so we still let them do a letter, and we still but the whole time we were talking to them as if it's pretend. And so then when they went to their grandparents' house, my husband's side of the family, they talked to them as if Santa were coming, and we were like, yeah, it's, pretend. We didn't say that around his parents, but we kind of gave our kids a little wink, like it's a little secret between us. And it has been fine. All of these years, it has been completely fine. And I just want to encourage you. It doesn't have to be whether this is the topic, to do Santa Claus or not to do Santa Claus. I just want to encourage you to just remember that it's important to have relationships. I think relationships are more important than being right all the time. I just feel like there's an opportunity for us to just lay down our rightness for the sake of the relationship with the other people. And so a lot of people ask me, well, how do you handle, or how should I handle when my family members continue to give us a lot of presents, even though we've had conversations with them? You know what? Just let your kids open the presents. If you've ahead of time, I always encourage people, have the conversation not in the season. Talk to your parents, talk to your in-laws, talk to whoever likes to give a lot of presents. Talk to them before the season even comes. Talk to them months in advance and say, hey, we're downsizing. We just realized, we don't really want to focus on a lot of materialism. And so we would really appreciate it if you got on board with us and helped us in this endeavor. But talk to them in the summertime before they even start shopping. But if your family members just are not compliant, they're not compromising, no matter what you say, no matter how many conversations, and I encourage you, don't just have one conversation, have the same conversation year after year after year. Even if they're not compromising and they still do whatever they want, just remember that the relationship, I personally, now this is case by case, whether you value the relationship or not, I always think that the relationship is more important than you being right or having things done your way or the right way. And so even if your family members bring you a lot of gifts, just put them to the side. Come up with a different solution. Maybe you say, okay, these are great. I'm going to let them stay at your house so that they have something to play with when they're at your house. Or like my friend that you're going to hear about in a minute, Erin, she says that she loads them up in the back of the car and they don't even unload them. They just leave them in the car, and their kids have to remember to ask for them specifically. And so another thing that I was talking to my client Kayla earlier, just a little bit ago when we were on her coaching call, is and I gave her this idea of, instead of having your parents or your in-laws come over and bring a lot of presents to your house for your kids to unwrap, how about you go to their house and whatever they open up there, they have to, they keep there. And then also another thing that came up when I was in that conversation with Kayla is, sometimes as our parents age, they lose that opportunity that they had when they were raising kids, of kids opening a lot of presents. And so your parents might have that void in their life of when, they don't have that feeling anymore. As we age, we kind of grieve the loss of these childhood memories or these nostalgic memories of how we once celebrated Christmas. And so maybe your parents or your older relatives are trying to recreate those feelings. So maybe you can think of a way to in order to break a pattern of behavior, we have to start doing something else. So if your parents typically bring to your house a lot of gifts, maybe you try to change that tradition and say, okay, let's celebrate it in a different way. Maybe everybody brings one gift and we, unwrap the gift and then we go look at Christmas lights. Okay. So try to create a new memory or a new tradition with your parents and your in-laws as they age, so that you are giving them that sense of Christmas for them, that sense of nostalgia, those feelings that they once had as they were raising kids. Now, I I have a absolutely wonderful mother-in-law, and she is so fluid. I recommend as we age women that we be those types of mother-in-laws that are just so fluid, and we just go with however our daughters in love and our sons in love, that they like whatever is important to them, that we can back them up and get on board with it as well. My mother-in-law has always been just very fluid. But I too have been very fluid. Like I have wanted to embrace her traditions and their traditions, but at the same time, I've wanted to create my own in my own family. And so it's been this beautiful relationship between the both of us, and her with all of her children and children-in-law. It's been very like fluid, like, yes, I respect you. I would still like, she's very compromising. Like if our family can't make it on Christmas Day, then we all sit around, we're like, okay, what day around Christmas can we all make it? Or the majority of us make it. It's very fluid. It's very compromising. So I just want to encourage you this Christmas season. I know it's 2 days before Christmas. I want you to choose that you are going to pick your battles wisely. Ask yourself, what is most important? Is it the relationship or is it my rightness? I have to have it my way, okay? I want us to lay down what we are like holding on to so strongly and compromise with those around us that we love, so that we can actually enjoy this Christmas without stress, okay? Lay down your rightness just so you can enjoy the season. All right, I'm going to let you listen to a little clip from our coaching call from November, where we were talking about how we handle Christmas presents from our family members when they don't get on board with us. Okay, so here is my conversation with Erin. What is going on in your world that we can talk through and help you out with?
Well, I'm really on this decluttering toys kick because I get really stressed about Christmas. Like my family won't listen and they buy too much stuff, and like the thought of it all coming into my house is really stressful. So I'm
Yes.
trying to like get rid of everything we can in anticipation of more things. But we also have other strategies, like they open so much stuff they don't even remember. And so we load it up into the truck and then we don't bring it inside. Like we almost like make them ask for specific things. Like, oh, what is it that you wanted? Okay, we'll go get that. And we try to like make them forget about as much of it as we can because
Yeah.
it's too much.
I
So
love that. I love that. Yeah. So have you, I know we talked about boundaries and like being more, intentional about asking your in-laws and your parents about specific gifts. Have you tried that, and have they been receptive?
well, they don't really listen on the limiting. And then they have it all bought like now, like before we even start thinking about wish lists or anything. Like they're like, we're done. I mean, my mom asked me today or yesterday about a gift idea, and I asked for a Yodo player for my kids because I thought they would enjoy listening to the audiobooks, and it's not like very clutter like
Yes. Yes.
so I think they're gonna get that. But other than that, they were like done. I mean, I was she didn't ask me what I wanted. She bought stuff, and I'm like, I even told her, I was like, Mom, I could have asked for something for my studio. I was like, because I don't need one more thing for this house. And she just laughed, and I was like, well, make sure you keep your receipts. Like, I mean, I try to like be whatever about it too, but no, they don't listen.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why we just don't bring it in.
Yeah.
But
And I love that. I mean, you can only say so much. You can only be so assertive. You can only say
yeah,
so much. You can only, and I just wouldn't give up on that. I would like, even out of the season, like during the summer, say, hey, Mom, I know I love that you get the kids gifts, but there are some things that I really need to refill for the kids. And if I could just give you a wish list and you could
yeah,
take care of all this would absolutely be fabulous. So maybe put a reminder in your phone, like go ahead and speak in your phone. Hey, Siri, put a reminder on my phone on July 1st, message my mom, have the Christmas conversation with her, right?
yeah.
But then I also want to applaud your system for like you put it in the car, you just leave it in the car. Oh, it got donated. Oops, like I love that too. So I love your system. What is your process, and is there anything that you're struggling with letting go of toys, or are you just like in the mindset? Because I remember like a year ago you were struggling to let go of toys. Are you? We come through different seasons. Are you now to the point where it's easy to let go?
Yeah, and my kids are doing fine. Like they're helping me and they're doing fine. I think the worst part for me and it's my problem that is easily fixed is that if I don't take it out of the house right away, they get back into like they're okay with letting it go, but if it sits there, they're back into it and I just need to be
Mm-hmm.
like get it out, get it out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
or load
Yeah.
it into my car.
Yes. And are you feeling like you're getting better and better at that, or is that something that you're still struggling with?
I think what I struggle with is if I don't feel like we finished, if we got interrupted or something, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, we'll come back to this, and that's when I
Mm-hmm.
get into trouble because I don't get back to it as quick as I thought I would, and
Mm-hmm.
then we are derailed.
Yeah. Can
But it's
you can
going fine.
Yeah, can you have like a fill a bag challenge where you're like, okay, guys, time to fill a bag, and you just
Hmm.
like, let's set a timer for 5 minutes. Let's, fill the bag, and then
I
that
like that.
like give yourself little wins instead of it
Hmm.
being, oh, we're
A
gonna
big
declutter
project.
the yeah, we're gonna declutter
Hmm.
the toy room. That way you
Okay.
can come back in a couple of more days and have one of your kids, if they're on board with getting rid of stuff, have one of your kids take that bag directly to your car. Like just if
Yeah.
like the more that you can delegate and get off
Hmm.
your hands, the better, right?
Hmm.
So let's do the fill a bag challenge with
Okay.
them instead of like just making it like, oh, we're gonna do the whole room. Let's just like
Hmm.
just hey, we got 5 minutes. Let's go fill a bag real
I
fast.
like it.
Let's all okay. Love
Yeah.
that. Okay.
All right, friends, I hope you walk away from this episode encouraged and know that you can't control other people, but you can control the way you act and react in situations. And truly, I hope that you take on and embrace this mindset that you're trying to keep the peace during this Christmas time and that you're going to be more proactive next year. Go ahead, keep the peace this year, whatever that looks like, and know that in a couple of months, you're going to start having those conversations. Even though that they may be hard, you need to have them so that you can, put in your request, set those boundaries before the season even comes up. So remember, keep in mind that it's better to focus on maintaining the relationship with your loved ones than your rightness this season. All right, friends, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you close to the new year. And before we dive into the new year, I hope that you will join us in the Accountability Club because we're going to be doing a New Year's reset. I am going to be talking about that next week on the podcast, but we're going to be doing a New Year's reset in the Accountability Club together, and we're going to start by resetting the photos on our phone. We're going to be organizing them, decluttering them, getting a good storage system set up so that our phones are not cluttered and filled up with all these beautiful pictures that we are scared to lose. Okay, so join us in the club, decluttering and organizing our photos and our videos in the month of January. I hope that you will join us. I will see you then. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I will see you right here next time on the Habits and Home Show. Hey friend, before you go, I wanted to tell you more about the Accountability Club. Each month, we'll tackle a new space in our homes and work together to declutter and set up systems so we can easily maintain order without getting overwhelmed. You'll get a new decluttering tutorial each month, the coaching and accountability you need to actually follow through, and encouragement without judgment from other Christian moms in a safe environment. And guess what? The entire club is off of social media, so you don't have to worry about distractions the world may throw at you. Sweet friend, if you're feeling stuck in your decluttering journey, this is the place for you. Click the link below to try out the Accountability Club and start decluttering today.